Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In Spider-Man No Way Home, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield entered the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and after Tom Holland's Spidey butchered Doctor Strange's incantation in the basement of the Sanctum Sanctorum, and it was beautiful to see them return. But there's been something that's been bugging me ever since, and I'd like to give my theory on it and explain some things. When Green Goblin and Doctor Octopus crossed dimensions, they arrived from around the same time of their original movies, which means the version of Green Goblin in No Way Home was the very same one that fought Tobey's Spidey in 2002's Spider-Man, and Doc Ock was the same one from Spider-Man 2 near the end. But Tobey was different. He didn't arrive in the MCU as a young college student. No, he came as an old man, and there's a very good reason for that. Presumably, in his original universe, Tobey's version of Spider-Man was plucked out of the very same year that No Way Home takes place, 2024. Thanks to the 5-year gap between Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. But why? Why were the villains snatched just shortly before they died? The answer to this question is more complex than you might think. If we look at the villains first, then we can find clues to why they were summoned to the MCU from earlier points in time from their native universes. When Doctor Strange botched his spell, he told Tom Holland's Peter Parker that it dragged in everyone from the multiverse who already knew about Spidey's secret identity. In Raimi's original Spider-Man films, especially the first and second one, we can see that the Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus only had a short period of time between the moment they discovered Peter's alter ego and their ultimate deaths, which could completely explain why they were the same age in No Way Home as they were when they first fought Tobey's Spider-Man. But that doesn't really do much when it comes to explaining Tobey's age, since the spell was only meant to affect people who already knew that Spider-Man was Peter Parker. Why didn't it drag Tobey's Spider-Man into the MCU when Tobey was in college or high school or any other age? Thanks to the TVA, we know that time travelers in the MCU are able to hop around the timelines at will, and the same should apply to Doctor Strange's broken incantations. Perhaps the simplest and most boring answer is true. Doctor Strange's spell summoned everyone who is still alive in the year 2024 when No Way Home takes place. But if they were dead, like in the case of Green Goblin and Doc Ock, the spell plucked them from a point in time when they were alive. This answer is unfortunately probably one of the most ones that is correct. But there's a problem. Sandman. In Spider-Man 3, Sandman never died. Tobey's Peter Parker forgave the villain on top of the construction site when Harry Osborn died, and then Flint Marko simply drifted away in the wind. But in No Way Home, Sandman didn't behave like he had just aged 20 years or more. After all, he kept repeating to the other members of the Sinister Six, or Sinister Five as it were, that he needed to get home to his universe to see his little girl. But by the events of No Way Home, which again took place in 2024, his little girl would have been at least in her mid to late 20s. So why wasn't Sandman plucked from the Raimi universe in the year 2024, just like Tobey was? Why was the villain seemingly summoned from the year 2007 when he first fought Parker? Do you guys have any guesses? Let me know in the comments below. A lot of it's very confusing. I hope I answered a portion of this, but Sandman kind of just destroys the theory a bit and makes me just very confused. So I'd like to hear your thoughts and your theories. Hope you have a great day. Leave a like on this one if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one on Fantasy Theory. Until then, remember, with great power comes great responsibility.